So I've been lucky enough to have some great guests on the podcast so far. We've just recorded episode 13, which is amazing. There's been great value given by all my guests. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with them. But I keep getting asked sort of who is David Lamb and what is my journey. So I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown, a quick summary today of who I am and how I got into property, really. So I was born in a town called Billingham in Teesside in the northeast of England. My mum and dad came from the Pit Villages in County Durham from quite humble beginnings. And they started a painting and decorating firm, quite a successful family business, which meant that I went to a very good school in the area, private school, until I was 14, when my parents got divorced and I was taken out of that school because my dad was too tight to pay the fees. So I had to start again, I guess. So my adult life, I've worked a multitude of jobs, including working at Redcar Steelworks, which was an unbelievably good period of my life. Thoroughly enjoyed it and made some great friends. I also worked in oil and gas, both in the British sector and also in Australia. So I worked in Australia and around Asia, Malaysia, Singapore for sort of 8 years. And I'd always had a property obsession. I always loved property programs on the TV and always wanted to get into property but didn't have the capital. So anyway, at the Steelworks I worked a lot of overtime, long hours and banked as much cash as I could and started to buy properties at the age of 19. Fast forward a couple of years and I was working offshore, earning good money. And then I went to Australia, earning mega money. Everyone was at the time. There was a massive oil and gas boom over there. And while my friends were all buying boats and big fancy houses, I was sending the money back from Australia to buy ex-council houses in and around Teesside. Much to the delight of my friends who all took the mick out of me. So I continued to work offshore and buy sort of one property a year for cash and continuing to educate myself, listen to podcasts, you should say, and reading books. Immersing myself in as much property knowledge as I could. I became massively obsessed and read every property book under the sun. So left Australia and went backpacking for 2 years solid. Didn't work for 2 years and just backpacked around the world. South America, North America, Asia, Europe, you name it. Went around everywhere. Came back to the UK and had a number of properties. I think it was 5 or 6 properties unencumbered at the time. And so no mortgages on any of those properties. So and began to leverage those properties, got mortgages on all 5 or 6 properties. And basically just went shopping for more properties quite aggressively in that period, just using the bank's money to leverage and refurbish properties and recycle my cash back out using the BRR model. And as we sit today, I've amassed a property portfolio of over 30 properties now using the BRR method and also some commercial or residential developments. I've also done a lot of flips and sold on properties in that time as well. So another question that I get asked regularly is, why did I start Orange Sales and Lettings? So my personal property portfolio got to the stage where I needed to invest in staff and software just to assist me and to manage my personal portfolio more efficiently, more professionally. I was investing decent sums of money into my management, the management of my portfolio. So I thought I might as well make a business out of it. So organically, I wanted to start a lettings agency. So I started Orange. I'd used letting agencies in the past and had frustrating experiences, especially when I was living in Australia. I wasn't receiving the level of service that I expected. So I wanted to start Orange as a means to creating a letting agency that was better in every area and eradicate the poor experiences that I'd had previously with other agencies. So it was based upon a sense of just wanting to improve the experience that landlords got. We're experienced landlords ourselves at Orange, so we understand the pains and trials and tribulations that landlords experience. And we see everything from the landlord side of the fence, if you like, while still providing an excellent service to our tenants, of course. So as well as our first-class property management service, we also offer a sales service now. Orange Lettings became Orange Sales and Lettings. And the sales service offers a proactive and professional service from start to finish. We'll help you achieve the best price for your property, but we maintain a very competitive sales service fee. Alongside that, we carry out refurbishments on properties from start to finish. So large back-to-brick refurbishments, smaller works, not a problem. We also offer a sourcing service, property sourcing service. So we are genuinely a one-stop shop for the property. So my daily routine and tips for new property investors. So I get asked this a lot. And my daily routine it starts with my 4 a.m. alarm. So I get up at 4 a.m. every day. Apart from on a weekend, I get up sort of 6 a.m. But during the week, I get up at 4 a.m. I bounce out of bed because it's just routine now. It was difficult for the first couple of weeks to get up at such an early time, but now it's just normal. I bounce out of bed, hydrate, read for 30 minutes, read a different book for 30 minutes. So read my book for 30 minutes every morning. Caffeinate to probably unhealthy levels, and then hit the gym. I'm in the gym for about an hour and a half. I come home and take the dog out for a walk, shower, eat, and get ready for work. My work day generally changes, but generally sort of from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. every day. Consisting mainly of business development activities and meetings, speaking to landlords and property investors day to day. I've got a very capable team in the office at Orange, which take care of the day-to-day running of the business, which is amazing. Personally, I try to keep my diet as clean as possible, and the more I find, the more discipline I keep in areas such as the gym and my diet, that replicates into other areas of my life and keeps me focused in other areas of my life, such as my business. And I think to anyone new to property or business and that wants to pursue a full-time career in property, I suggest mastering self-discipline is a great place to start. You don't need to go to the extremes I do from a discipline point of view, but discipline creates focus, which can only help you in all areas of your life. The next most important elements I would focus on, are building your network. They say your network is your net worth, and it couldn't be truer. You need to get out there and get yourself around like-minded people that'll push you on and hold you accountable. Get to property networking events, build up relationships with fellow investors and estate agents, and people that are just in property-related businesses, having conversations about property. You are the result of the people that you spend time with. So I found that in the early days. I was doing a lot of property networking, and I've made some amazing friends through that. But they're not just friends, they're people who hold me accountable in everything I do, and I bounce ideas off them. Educate yourself, use mentors. In the early days, I didn't use mentors, and I wish I had. It probably would have sped my process up. But there's a lot of free information or inexpensive information out there as well. So property books, podcasts. In the early days, I was just obsessed. I just immersed myself in all of the information. So listen to every podcast going whenever I was driving. When you're driving your car, it's dead time. Put a podcast on or an Audible book and just drive and take in as much information as you can. Books, some amazing books out there. For £15, you don't need to spend 25 grand on a property course. But most of all, just take action. Once you've got all that knowledge, you need the knowledge before you take action, of course you do. You need to get out there and start buying properties, essentially. And if you don't have the capital to buy those properties, learn how to find deals and construct deals, build relationships with agents, work out how to find below market value properties that you can add value to, and then refinance. And that's the quickest way to grow a portfolio. Make sure the cash flow on a monthly basis, of course, but make sure you can rinse and repeat as much of that capital out on each deal as you can. And if you don't have the capital to do these deals, just build the relationships with agents, find the deals, package up the deals, and then sell the deals on to other investors that do have the capital. It's a great way to build up your funds, save up as much of the funds as you can, and then start shopping for your own properties using those funds. That's the best way to do it. The low cost entry points to property, like rent to rent, they're not long-term solid strategy. They're not wealth building strategies. They might cash flow in the very short term, but you're not building wealth. You're not owning assets, and that's got to be the aim. So if you can package up these deals, in the process of packaging up these deals, you're making great relationships with agents, and you're building your knowledge base of finding deals and putting deals together.